In this video, we're going to make the competitor's container top. So here it is, an isometric view. So we're going to make a sort of an initial base of it, which is over here described by the front view. And then we're going to make an hinge part, which is up here. So that's described by this detail in this drawing right here. And then we'll make what I'm calling the clasp right here. And that's in another drawing, and it's in this detail view here. So let's start by placing a sketch on the front plane. Press N to make it perpendicular to you. We'll use the rectangle tool to make a 55 by 38.5 rectangle, and we will extrude it out 3 millimeters. So get rid of the planes by pressing P. We can turn off visibility of the origin. Shift 7 gives us our isometric view, and we've got the base part here, which is over here in the front view. The next step we're going to do is we're going to work on the hinge. So the hinge is shown in this detail view, located here, and it's made in detail up here. So we've got all the information we need here. So we're going to just go ahead and start that. The first thing we note is that this thing starts, the hinge starts at 10.5 from one edge. So let me name my part. We'll just call it top for now. I'm also going to start renaming the sketches and extrudes and other things in the feature list just for organization purposes. We don't, strictly speaking, need it for this project, but this will be practice for keeping track of those things, because in bigger projects we're going to need that. So in order to start the sketch for the hinge, I'm going to place an offset plane from the right edge here. So I'll bring it back, and I think we said that needs to start 10.5 from the edge. So we've got this offset plane here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to rename this plane the hinge offset. And I can place a sketch there, a sketch plane, and up here at the top I'm going to make the circle here, and you can see it's a circle that's centered here, so it's 3 millimeters further up and a half a millimeter in from this inside edge, and it has a diameter of 5 millimeters. Okay, 5 millimeters, 3 and 0.5. So I'll place it sort of right here, come out 5 millimeters, and the distance from the center will be 3 millimeters that way, and I don't need that offset plane to be visible, so I'm going to turn its visibility off. And then from here to here, that distance is 0.5 millimeters. And so we're up at the top here, and we're drawing this thing again, right here. Let me erase some of this stuff so we can see what we're doing here. So now what we want to do is we want to sort of make this circle meld into the top, and the way we're going to do that, actually what we're going to do is we are going to turn that offset plane back on, visibility, and what I want to do is project these edges of the base onto my sketch plane. And the way to do that, because I need to use those edges, I'm going to use this tool. Let's see, looks like I got out of the sketch. Go back into it. Right here, the U's are project geometry, so I'm going to click on this line, and this line, and you can see that I've projected that geometry onto my sketch plane, which is 10.5 millimeters in from the edge. I can also turn off the visibility of the part itself, so that I can just focus on my my sketch here. So okay, this one, I don't need that visible. Okay, now I'm going to use the extend command, I can either click here or I can press X, and I'm going to extend this line all the way to here. And you can see it. I've got a constraint there, a tangent constraint, or looked like it was perpendicular actually. And now I'm going to come here and extend it all the way to here. That was a coincident constraint. That's it. And now I can come and use the trim tool and get rid of that. And what I end up with is that sort of round area with, it's not quite on the edge, it's offset a little bit, but it intersects the part. And so if I turn this back on, you can see that that's what I got. Okay, so if I finish that sketch and extrude other direction, I believe that's 34 millimeters. Let's check that. Yeah, 34 right here. And so I'll take that, Shift 7, and I've got my beginning of my hinge. So let's go back and let's update the feature list. This sketch here is the sketch for the hinge. This extrusion here is the extrusion for the hinge. And well, I can continue. I'm going to put a sketch plane right there, zoom up, and in order to make the sort of the cavity, which is right here, for the bottom part to interface with, I need to make a 3 millimeter diameter circle and then do a remove, revolve, so that I end up with a spherical radius of 1.5 millimeters. So let's go ahead and do that. Put a hole right concentric there, come out, and I believe that is 3. So let me zoom up here. And I'm going to make a line here. I'm going to go to the center and then come up. You can see I have a vertical constraint there with a little glyph. So click there, keep it vertical, click there, and I've got my axis of revolution. So I'll finish that. Go up to the revolve, select this region, select my axis, which is right here. Make sure it's a remove, and then accept that. So if I come back here and start to do some housekeeping sketch, this is the, let's call it hinge cavity, and then the revolve would be the same, hinge cavity. Now I need to mirror that to the other side because it doesn't have the cavity. So let's come up here to the plane tool and place a mid-plane midway between the right and the left faces, and I'll rename that mid-plane. And now I can come up here to the mirror tool, and you always have to remember to, generally we don't mirror a part, we mirror a feature. And so then I just need to select the feature and the mirror plane right there. Check to make sure it got mirrored. It did. That looks good. And so I can rename that. It's the mirror of the hinge cavity. And I can turn off visibility of that midplane. So I think I have everything done except for the clasp, the thing I'm calling the clasp, which is down here, and also the last step we'll do, which is filleting the corners here. So for the clasp, I have a second drawing. So here's the top from the left side. Here it is in isometric. And here, in this kind of method drawing, is everything you need to know about how that part extends away. So we're going to come down here and then over here, and we're going to add all this to the end there. And this line right here is the fillet, which is going to appear as a line. Remember, we have these fillets here, so it's going to appear as a line. So let's go ahead and get started then. So this time I'm going to work down here, but I am going to put an offset plane actually again. Offset plane, and it comes here, and I think we go in 22.5 millimeters. Let's check that. Where is that? Yeah, 22.5 millimeters right here. So I'll take that, and I'll place a sketch plane on that plane and press N. Okay, so I'm going to be working, again, 22.5 millimeters in from this face here. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to use some of this geometry, so I'm going to click the Use tool and just start clicking on these lines here. And you can see they've been projected. And I'm going to turn off visibility of the part. And so what I've got here is the bottom of the part with the sketch plane not obscured, because I've hidden the part itself, so I can work. And again, just so we're on the same page, if I turn that back on, there it is, but I'm working in 22.5 millimeters. So we're going to go down to and over 15 and up 0.7. And we go, let's see, yeah, we're going to go to the left. So down to over 15 and up perpendicular 0.7. And it didn't like that. Why didn't it like that? Let me delete that sketch entity and let's try it again. Here I'm going to go straight up 0.7, 0.7. Yep. So that's good. Let's kind of move some of these dimensions out of the way. Come back here. So we went down to over 15, up 0.7. Of course we went the other way, but doesn't matter. So I'm just going to come up here and just start to draw this out as I go. So I'm not going to worry about this distance or angle, but I am going to stop somewhere up here and go over 1 and then down 1.5. So up here, roughly like there, over 1. I want that to be horizontal. 1. And then down 1.5. And then over. And I want to be right underneath there. And then back up. And you can see I've got a lot of blue, which means I need to start to put in some more dimensions. I know I'm missing this one. That's 1.7. And I'm missing this one right here. That distance, I believe, is 10. Yeah, and it turns all black, which means it's fully constrained. And so I think I'm okay there. Let's finish the sketch and turn the part back on so I can remind myself what I'm doing here. So, yep, there it is. It's a place where I want it, and now I just need to extrude to get that. I don't think I need this plane. This is actually, back to some housekeeping, this is an offset for the clasp. That's that plane, and then the other offset plane, hinge offset, okay. And this sketch here is the sketch for the clasp. And so I think I'm okay. Let me turn visibility of that off. And then we'll just leave the part visible, and we'll extrude. We want to be under Add. Click there, go the other way. And this is 10 millimeters. So I think we're okay so far. Just need to put the fillets on a couple corners. Let me go ahead and do some more housekeeping. Extrude was for the clasp. And let me go ahead and add those fillets. And they are 3 millimeters right there and right there. And these fillets, let's try to give them a name that makes sense. So I don't know, they're sort of at the front of the top, so we'll say front. And so that's it. Let's see if I got close to my expected volume. I did, 7372.751. I made this before, I've got 7.2. So I would say if you have 7372.75, you're okay. So this is the competitor's top, and it has this volume, and that's how you make it. Thanks for watching.